This is Jim Jones with Veterans in Politics. Today, our guest is Oneil Smith. He is the owner of a Jamaican restaurant called House of Dutch Pot. Very tasty. But before we get to Mr. Smith, Jim, you have any rants?
No.
Beautiful. Mr. Smith, how you doing?
Fine, man. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, thanks for coming. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just moved to Vegas 2 years now.
And you got a restaurant already?
Mhm.
Man, some people been here all their life and they don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah, because I guess they ain't got a dream or a goal. So I was born in Jamaica, migrated to New York City in 1998.
What part of Jamaica?
Martin Bay, St. Thomas, the eastern part.
I was in Kingston.
We call it the Forgotten Parish because we really don't get no attention.
I thought Spanish Town was the Forgotten
Nah,
Parish.
that's the capital right there. So I'm in the country part. So I migrated in 98, went to New York, did every fast food you could think about because I was on a mission, and the mission was to learn the back end of how to run a restaurant. I went to the Art Institute. Now it's called the Art Institute of New York City, but it was formerly known as New York Restaurant School. Mm. So I went there, wasted my time because it's when I entered in Applebee's, I learned everything. Mm-hmm. That I was just like, me going to college was a waste of time because I learned so much in Applebee's. 16 years, started as a $4 cook, worked my way up till I'm overseeing the company and whatnot. And I had a great mentor. I had two mentors actually, because entering Applebee's, I just came out of jail, and I didn't know why Applebee's was. I just know that I wasn't trying to go back to jail.
Where were you in jail?
So when I left college, the country hit a recession, so I couldn't get a job. So the girl I was dating at the time, her dad used to sell weed, used to hustle, but he was diabetic. He even passed away a couple years ago. Man, so rest in peace. So he lost both legs. Jesus. So he needed somebody to take over the whole operation. And he just dreamed for like 2 days and then start selling weed. And
New York?
In New York. Actually, yeah, in Manhattan. At
Harlem?
No, 47 Rockefeller Center.
I know what that is. I used to. Grew up in New York.
Exactly. So with that, if you ask me right now, at 35, if I regret doing none of that or regret getting locked up, I'm going to tell you now I would do it all over again because that's where I gained the most experience and knowledge and gained my knowledge of focus to be like, if I could sell weed, I know I could be a businessman. Because when I was selling weed, I acted as if I was paying tax on it. Yeah, so I can't sell you today and tomorrow you come to me and say you want your refund back. Yeah. I'm like run you from me.
So let me ask you something. Since you were selling weed back in when it wasn't legal, now it is. Would you be interested in opening up a dispensary or anything like that?
Nah, because for me right now, I just use it for my like medical purpose. Nobody can even try to influence me to sell not even a dime bag. Yeah. I'm on a journey, and that chapter closed already. Right. I was supposed to go through that phase because I still run my restaurant like I'm selling weed.
How so?
Because my packaging for my weed wasn't regular like everybody else that tied the bag up. I've been doing like the Ziploc little nice packages and whatnot because I always tell myself I'm not the only one in New York selling weed. So if I could get the best product and package it the best way, I'm always going to be making money because my customers going to love what they're getting. So use that analogy in my restaurant. That's the main reason I don't use foam containers because by the time the customer pick it up and then drive off to go wherever they're going, you warm that up. It's all soggy, sweating in a foam container. So yeah, the plastic ones are more expensive, but at the end of the day, my customers are going to feel comfortable coming to a House of Dutch Pot, getting that food, knowing it's not going to spill in the car. They could save it for They could save it for 2 or 3 days after, and it's still warming up, and they feel like they just pick it up. So I still run my restaurant like that. I don't take nothing for granted because, like I said, when I was selling weed, you got to look out for the police, even somebody try to rob you. And it's in a sense now, the only thing I'm not trying to look out for is the cops because I'm doing something illegal, but I'm a target. Because I got a restaurant that's successful. You see, they just broke in it 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, they broke in it. So you came there. So you came there the Friday, and the Tuesday prior to that, I closed up like about 9:47, Got home, looking over numbers and whatnot. Just roll my joint up about to put it to my mind. I see ADT calling my phone. I'm like, ADT ain't calling me to ask me how my day was. Something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at my other phone on the camera, and I see the entire front door smashed out. So I told her to dispatch.
Did they catch him?
So when I got there, it had to be a customer that came there before, because you came to the restaurant a few times already, and you can't just walk in and see my register because it's in a cut. Mm-hmm. So they didn't even spend 30 seconds. The guy just walked in, grabbed the empty register, cash register, and went. So it ended up costing me more money, but as I said, I still run it as if and that's why I got an open kitchen too. So I see who was coming in and out of my restaurant, and also so customers could see the product they're getting. I was being prepared and whatnot. So after going to Applebee's, I used to make a lot of money, but now I'm making $4.15 an hour. And at that point now, my daughter's mom told me, she's pregnant. I'm trying to.
Congrats.
Nah. I'm talking back then.
Oh.
Right. And I'm trying to figure this thing out now. Like, I got a kid on the way, and I'm making like $160 over 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I used to make that in less than 5 minutes in the streets. Mm-hmm. And in a sense, it's just like I'm saying what I'm gonna do. So usually I'm the first one to get cut because I don't know what Applebee's was. I only know one station. Mm-hmm. And when it's slow, they're not gonna pay out more than what they're making. So you have 2 more guys on the line. They know all 3 stations because they coming from TJ Fridays, for other Applebee's and whatnot.
When you're talking about stations, you're talking about like the order area.
Yeah, so you got the fry, you got the broiler, you got the grill. Yeah. I was a grill guy, right? That read the flat top on the burgers and stuff, but that's all I knew. Because once again, I know what Applebee's was. Mm-hmm. When you're in the streets, you got like tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. You're not going to know a certain little local spot because you're not going to hang around them areas, at least for me. Because I never used to hustle to floss or get females. I never run with nobody in my age group. Mm-hmm. My OG was 55 when he put me on, and he asked me a question, what are you trying to hustle to do? I said, what you mean? He said, you want to floss, get females, or you want to invest? I said, bro, I want to own half America. So if I could own this, if I could do it by doing this, that's what I want. So I never was the type to being around like little kids and stuff. Even when I'm not selling weed, I'm around the grown-ups. So I'm doing that now, and I went home one day and I'm in my garage smoking. I'm just like, I'm going to take over Applebee's. I figure out how I'm going to do this. So every day they would send me home. I went out, I clock out, but I'm working for free off the clock. Mm-hmm. Everybody laughing at me, clowning me. Like,
what do you mean working for free?
I'm working off the clock. Like,
you're still at Applebee's.
So yeah, so it's slow. And they say, yo, you only know one station, so we got to cut you and leave the other 2 guys to work 2 stations, the other 3 stations. Mm-hmm. So I got to punch out. So I went, clock out, put my apron and go right back on the line. I'm working for free. But everybody laughing at me, clowning me, but I'm not a kiss and tell guy, so nobody know my plan. My plan was, if I could work for free off this clock and learn all of these 3 stations, I dictate what goes on this line now.
True.
So eventually I did that till I went to him and I said, bro, I could make 40 hours in 4 days. He said, how? I said, schedule me 6 to 4. I open all 3 stations. And I even do your work too. And just bring somebody in at 11 o'clock. So I'm working 2 and stuff. I'm making 40 hours in by Thursday. Mm-hmm. My paycheck went from $167 over 2 weeks to making over like $800. Mm-hmm. Then my mentor came into play. My first mentor was Donnie. White guy, white like mayonnaise. I don't know what the hell him and Jeff saw in me. Jeff told me, so when I started in that Applebee's, the general manager actually left to go to another restaurant because they had fired that gym and they brought in a new guy. Mm-hmm. And when the guy came in, the staff was just clowning him, laughing at him. I'm the only one that walked up to him and be like, bro, I opened this restaurant. Anything you need, I got you. Mm-hmm. I didn't know about me saying that to him. He went home and told his wife he found his right hand. And within like 6 weeks young, he gave me a raise. So I'm making from $450, I'm making $615 now. Mm-hmm. And I just kept grinding. And he said one day, he's like, yo, you never late. You never called out. I said, bro, I need my job and it take care of the bills. So I'm not respect something that taking care of the bills and I got a kid on the way. And he just was like, yo, there's something about you. I don't know what it is. I can't put my hand on it. So every time he kept like provoking me, man. And one day I snapped at him. I said, yo, bro, you need to stop playing with me. I'm not that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't talk to nobody that's on the line. And he said, yo, get in the effing office. So I went. He's like, you see I talk to anybody else? I said, that's the problem, bro. You keep coming at me and other people be doing, and I don't be doing nothing. Whatever you guys ask of me, I do. He said, because I care. He said, I see something in you, I'm gonna push you. And I was just like, so that's your way of doing it? He's like, let me tell you something. This is the real world. I know you're used to your street life, but this is the real world. When somebody constantly be on you, it's because they see potential in you. And from then, I became a supervisor. I became the kitchen manager. Assistant kitchen manager, general manager, and everything was through Jeff. Like, he grew me as a line cook till me and him eventually running the entire restaurant. Because I'm his kitchen manager, I'm the GM. I got kitchen manager of the year back to back. He got GM on the back. Anytime there was stores messing up, they would take me and him and send us like, go over there for a month, fix that, fix that. So I became a column in Applebee's now. The owner, like, everybody thought I was like this golden child now. But the owner told me one day, he came to the store, he said, yo, you know why everybody in Applebee's in the top respect you so much? I said, why? He said, your work ethic. He said, your work ethic is unmatched. He said, they always complain you don't know how to talk to people, and I always tell them, because you don't understand passion. Mm-hmm. When I told him I'm going to resign to go start my own company, he said to me, you're one of my managers that I know will be successful. I said, why is that? He said, the millions you brought me, I just imagine what you're going to do for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when I left that now, I went to work for a company called Pret a Manger. It's like the UK Starbucks. Mm-hmm. So I was there, and I was supposed to do like 4 months of training. They had to cut that to 2 weeks, because when I went in, it was like, yo, you know this. Like, I was like, yeah, like, this is nothing comparing. I got to work Monday to Friday here. And that's what we say. I used to have to work 60 or 70 hours a week. Mm-hmm. And I had to work at least two days out of the weekend. So what they doing now is just like walking the park for me. And one day I went on once again, I'm just in my garage and I'm smoking, and I'm like, I'm tired of working for the next man now, man. I'm tired of making the next man money. Because no matter what system they have in play, I never follow their rules. Because nobody can show me. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody can show me how to make money. I know how to make money. Mm-hmm. I know how to market a product. If you recall, the Friday night when you came to the restaurant, before you walk in, I told you, and I spoke that looking in your eyes, I said, you're going to be back. You're going to be hooked. Because you told me where you used to go to before. And I told you that before you even walk in the restaurant, because that's my job. Mm-hmm. I know how to talk it, but I definitely know how to walk it. Because I position myself in life where I'm never in need of nobody. I'm in want of you. My staff respect me on a whole nother level, because everything I ask them to do, they see me do it. Mm-hmm. So they have a different type of respect for me. So I left that, and I'm in my garage, and I'm just like looking in my garage. I'm just like, this is a 3-car garage. I'm gonna convert it into a kitchen. And I did. Me and my friends in New York, I called a meeting and we chop it up. And
you're already in Vegas now?
Nah, I ain't in Vegas yet. I'm in New York. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get to New Vegas now. So I went to Home Depot, got like 4 ply boards, and make like prep tables, but I make it in like L. So you walk up, you place your order, you're gonna watch me make your food. Just like, so in a sense, I'm bringing like a Ellisher Portmore style. You go pick your fish out and they cook it while you're enjoying a beer or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we decided I'm gonna call it Dutch Pot Fridays. The house off ain't coming to play yet, just Dutch Pot Fridays. And I had a fan base because I usually keep events in New York, so I have a fan base. So the minute I posted that, one of the main reasons why most of my events is always successful is because of the food. People always come for the food. So my friends was like, yo, bro, if you start cooking and selling, it's an easy win because people know you for this. So I started doing it, man, and I started making hella money. I'm yet to make a day sales at restaurant I in Vegas that I made in my garage. Mm-hmm. So when the pandemic hit and a lot of people was hurting, I'm making a killing. Mm-hmm. Because everywhere is closed down. Mm-hmm. The restaurant depot is still open, so I got where to get my supplies. Mm-hmm. I got the hospitals in my pocket. Sometimes it's like 20, 30 cop cars in front of my house. People think it's a raid. Nah, they're just eating food.
They just come for the food.
There's nowhere else. And now you could testify to this because you're a New Yorker. Like, if you could please New York people, you could go anywhere in the world, bro. Because New York is savage.
They're hard.
That's why
sarcastic.
That's why I say you could testify.
What are you looking at?
I always tell customers in my restaurant, like, the way I come out and have a conversation with you guys, it's hard for me to do that in New York if I had my restaurant in New York. Because New York is like a crab in a barrel state, regardless of your race or your age. Mm-hmm. So I'm there now and I said, I'm cooking outside. New York get cold. Ain't no heat in the garage. Ain't no sink or none of that. I'm wrapping up September. So in August, I put in states 10-year development plan to see what state is coming up next. Mm-hmm. So I looked at South Carolina, Texas, LA, Arizona, Colorado, and Vegas. But all of those states had something Vegas ain't have that's coming to Vegas, like a baseball team, mm-hmm. soccer team, basketball team. Then I saw the Globe Circular Hotel. Then I saw they're building a 1,000 room in casino. And I'm just like, man, if all of these is coming, that means everything gonna increase. Foot traffic, everything. Even if you're not planning to live in Vegas, there's so much attraction. And also saw the Grand Prix Raceway that they're building, the NASCAR stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just like, Vegas it is. I came out here, no friends, no family, and I bought my restaurant March 15th, 2021. Mm-hmm. And the 16th, I was in there paying it. And I just got to work. And a lot of people told me I wouldn't last past 6 months. A lot of people told me certain specific restaurant was my competitors. So I went to every single one of the restaurants out here. And I didn't even taste the food because when I walk in, the way I was greeted alone, I know the food gonna be trash. So I still went in and spent the money, but
that's what kept me away from them.
Yeah, if they watch me, they will see that I walked out of the restaurant and threw the food in the garbage. Because once I open it and I see how it look, I'm like, don't even make no sense. I try to intake this because people eat with their eyes, mm-hmm. and if I look at it, my eyes ain't gonna lie to me. Mm-hmm. So I came out here, and it was a struggle because number one, I opened in the pandemic where unemployment money is still given out, and everybody, nobody want to work. So it's been days where I literally got one server working 7 days a week, and I'm the cook and the dishwasher. And
at the same place you're at?
At the same place I'm at right now. There was days where I opened and I only made like $160 for the entire day. That can't cover nothing. And the waste is like through the roof. Mm-hmm. How you try to prep to make $160? That's hard. Because nobody is waking up to go to a restaurant and make $160. Mm-hmm. There was times where my busy day was Friday and I was doing like $360, $400, and that would be my busy day. And a lot of times I got frustrated because I'm deep in my back end. I'm maxing out my credit cards because I'm still doing paying attention to the small details that I'm just hoping people would see, like, little thank you stickers, simple stuff. I'm driving around, walking in the cold, DMV, Walmart, and then flyers on the cars, just putting in work, just hoping like somebody would just give me an opportunity. And sometimes it got busy and whatnot, but it wasn't until July of last year when, once again, restaurant wasn't even making no money like that. And I just went in my personal money and just bought over 800 book bags and school supplies. Because one of the time for me growing up in school is like, we grew poor in Jamaica, so I couldn't really afford to like get new school books and stuff going back to the next school term. So I always tell myself, the minute I know I'm financially good, I'm always going to give back. And that's back to school. We started that in New York with my Layer Brick Foundation. And I came out here with the same thing because I'm an observer. I'm not a talker, I'm just an observer. And I see a lot of things that's missing in Vegas. And I'm not here to eat all the cake. I just came for my slice that's here. And I don't want not even the crumbs off of the next slice. I just want what's destined for me, and that's all I'm take. But I don't want it to be handed to me. I want to earn it, so everything I get, I receive it. That's where my mindset is at.
So, Mr. Smith, now I've been to several Jamaican restaurants here in town, and I remember there was a time that there wasn't any. And one thing I look at is attitude, and ambiance, and how I'm treated, and the taste, and the food, and the product. And your product is absolutely delicious, by the way.
Thank you.
But I gotta ask, how do you cook it yourself?
Yeah, I do everything in that restaurant.
You cook this whole menu?
Whole menu.
The entire menu?
Not only I cook it, I create all the menu. I create everything in the restaurant.
So, and there's some Jamaican restaurants don't even have half of the stuff that you got, like curry goat.
So
they don't have it. How do you get the mutton?
So for me, I don't even. My restaurant is not a Jamaican restaurant. It's a Caribbean restaurant. So when you cater into the Caribbean, my menu obviously going to be super duper diverse and more intense than a Jamaican restaurant, because a Jamaican restaurant only caters to Jamaican. I don't have nobody can cage me in a box. So as you know, as a veteran that traveled the world and fought how many times, you know the Caribbean is big.
It is.
We even got people in the Caribbean that doesn't even speak English. So it's my job to use my food to bring the Caribbean together. And that's why I said the other day, us a Dutch Party is not just a restaurant, it's a culture. It's for someone from Belize to come in my restaurant and tell me what is Belize's national dish, and it's for me to go do my homework and make sure I got something on my menu for the Belizeans. That's how I'm bringing people together. Some people use music. How do
you get your product though, like the ackee?
Okay, so
that's hard to get.
So all right, so I love the questions you were asking, and I'm open.
I mean, if it's a secret,
no, ain't no secret. I say I love it. I love what you're asking me, because whoever watching this or whoever gonna get the opportunity to watch this, they shouldn't just only look at this as just you interviewing me about us a Dutch Pot. I'm actually kicking some gems on here for them. So that's one of the number one issues most restaurant owners run into. Not only Jamaicans or the Caribbean,
just suppliers,
just restaurant owners, because they don't do the simple things of the demographic and the geographic of the area you're trying to open your business into. So before I even found a restaurant in March, before I moved to Vegas, January 7, 2001, I already had every single supplier for my restaurant, and I didn't find my restaurant as yet. Because I'm in New York and I'm planning. So all I'm doing, I'm making phone calls every single day, comparing prices, find out this, that, and the third. Find out, okay, how far you are from this trip? How far you are from this? Do you do delivery? Do I got to come pick it up? How close the restaurant depot was. So once I see where the restaurant depot was and I see there's no more, I have to get a restaurant within at least a 25, 30 minutes drive to be sufficient. It doesn't make sense. I got a restaurant an hour away and got to drive an hour back and forth. That's 2 hours of the day that died already. So all of these stuff I got into play. I found this guy in North Vegas that all he does is supply meat, the pork, lamb, mutton, snapper, whatever you want, he got it. But he has a butcher shop, so my meat comes fresh. You at the oxtail, you don't see no fat on my oxtail. They don't cut big. That's not by accident. When I'm doing contracts with vendors, I just don't do word of mouth. You got to put pen to paper. Because if I'm paying you for my product got to be how I want it. Because you're not the only one selling oxtail. As far as my ackee and stuff go, there's a Caribbean distribution wholesale warehouse in California where he sent over my pallet once a week with all my sweet plantains and so forth. But if, for instance, like you see for the past 2 weeks, it's been super duper busy. If I order 8 cases of plantain, that's just going in no time. So I also get my produce at like La Bonita. But go back to Applebee's, I used to do all these things. Like I ran stores that was generating 30, 40 million a year. So your number one priority when you're being a manager in one of these franchises, you can't run out of food. So you know how to do it. And so because I know my food costs, I know how much it costs to make a small oxtail, a large oxtail. I do my numbers. I know when to order. One thing I hate is having money sitting in the fridge or on the shelf. If I buy it, it needs to go. Because I didn't go in the store and take it up and say, oh, when I get someone to buy it, I'll pay you. I pay for it. So that's why my menu change every 3 months. I watch what's not selling. When I go home at night, my work, even though I do 18 hours, my work doesn't stop when I go home. So I'm smoking and I've got my computer in front of me. I'm looking at the numbers. What's trending in the restaurant this week? What's not selling? Expand it. Do a 30-day sales gap and see what's moving, what's not your top seller. But also question yourself, why this product is not moving? Is it that your staff is not telling them about it? Is it you're not promoting it more on social media, or what it is? So you're questioning yourself, and if you say, well, I'm doing everything the same way, customers really just don't like it. So get it off so you don't have to get the ingredients or nothing, and bring something that you feel like, okay, they would like. Why do burgers now? Who want to eat burger right now? But guess what? When my summer menu come, you won't see a burger on it because everybody want to eat burgers. So you just got to know the game and know the season. That's why the Ecclesiastic 3 told you under the kingdom of heaven, there's a time and a season for everything. So you just got to learn and know all these things. And once you apply that to yourself, you be good.
Why'd you pick that location?
Because there was building a 1,000 hotel room and casino down the block.
Oh, Durango Station.
Yeah, right down the block by the 15.
Yeah, I know.
So
when is that supposed to open, by the way?
Fall.
Really?
It is fall.
How do you promote your stuff?
All right, so
and how did you come up with the name?
So as a Dutch Rock came because back home when I grew up, as I tell you, I grew up poor. We didn't have no gas or electricity, so everything cooked on wood, fire, or coal. Well, the only pot that could sustain that heat without the food being burned was a Dutch pot. Yeah, so I always tell my grandma, if God bless me or give me the opportunity to open a restaurant, it would definitely be Dutch pot. But when I went to license my business, I see Dutch pot was taken. So that's how I came up with House of Dutch Pot. And then that gave me the vision. I'm saying House of Dutch Pot, meaning I'm going to have a few of these. The goal is to have 26 because I open June 26. And when I say 26, I don't own 26. I'm only going to own 2 House of Dutch Pot. But I also have the food truck on the way, and I have a big major one, as I was explaining to you at a restaurant, that's going to be like a fine dining 5-star steakhouse type Caribbean restaurant. That's never been done before. It's under construction, but that we're pushing that to do that fall. If not fall, definitely December. The furthest is we'll push to go is the top of next year, which we're not trying to open in the top. We're trying to open for fall on this year. So 26 we're franchising. We got 2 serious inquiries. That's we're going over paperwork, one in Boston and one in New Jersey. And they want to open, if everything goes well, we're pushing to have that open in September, around Labor Day weekend. One the week before. The Asa Dutch Pot on Durango is the flagship. So everybody has to train there. So part of the program is they got to come out here for a month. Covered by us, of course, because we're partners now. And it's going to be like 45 days of intense training. To the point I leave them in my own restaurant to see how they're running for a day. Because anything House of Dutch Pot is attached to I'm attached to it.
So you got 2 locations?
No, I'm going to end up having 4 locations if everything goes well by the year ends. The fine dining, which one that's going to be known as the Dutch Pot Garden. And we're opening another House of Dutch Pot. We have the food truck, and we're also opening the House Jerk Center. What's the House Jerk Center? So one night I woke up like about 2, 3 in the morning, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. And I said, let me just drive around the city. And I was driving around the city, and I noticed that everybody that's leaving the strip club or anybody that's leaving like the lounges really don't have nothing to eat there. You go to McDonald's, Taco Bell, Sonic. So I came up with this concept of the House Jerk Center from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. where we would sell nothing but jerk products like jerk oxtail, jerk pork, jerk wings, jerk chicken, festival.
And that's going to sell.
Exactly. Just finger food and, of course, soups to, you lick it up, you need something hot. Literally no chairs or tables going to be. It's just a grab-and-go concept we're doing.
Kill the overhead.
Yeah, not even with the overhead. It's just a concept that I think work perfect at night. Because I look at that also having a lot of accident fatalities because the type of food we cook could sustain alcohol. You know, so getting that 5 p.m. either before you go to the club or after the club, it works both ways. And you're getting flavorful, delicious food. Can't beat that.
So what's your favorite thing on this menu? And don't say everything.
No, because I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat that you see on there. I'm a pescatarian.
Okay.
So for me, I'm the garlic butter shrimp. Every time I custom order, I put extra shrimp in it so I could get a plate after I share theirs. So that's how serious it is. Yeah. So the order is 5 big jumbo shrimp. So I might put an extra 2 for myself because that with white rice or rice and peas is just a banger. But top seller, that pineapple jerk salmon is one of my top seller on the seafood side. Customers really, really, really go hard for it. And of course, any Jamaican come in the restaurant, they're gonna ask for that snapper. Whether brown sugar or steam or escovitch. Since Guy was on the Food Network last Friday and Guy had escovitch fish and jerk chicken, that's been going through the roof. Everybody want escovitch fish now, so that's been going up. But we just created a guava fried chicken wrap that started today. We also created a oxtail loaded fries. Has never been done nowhere in the world.
So you think outside the box?
You got to think outside the box because what would make me different? What would make me unique if I'm doing everything everyone else is doing?
True.
It's a reason why you're driving the distance you drive from to come to my restaurant.
And I'm from Centennial Hills.
Exactly my point. It's a reason why people from Anderson drive all the way over. People from all the way down deep in Northtown, an hour away, come to the restaurant. And when I see these things, I'm not taking it for granted. That's why we're getting the food truck to put on the road because, that also, a lot of people in Northtown don't know House of Dutch Pot is yet. And with the food truck over there, even though it's not going to be called House of Dutch Pot, but it's still connected because it's called Reggae Eats. It's going to do things. And I don't look at it like only me doing this for money. I'm creating jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the 5 Dutch Park Gardens, we're looking to staff up to 200 people in there. Because it's that you're coming for the food, but you really come for the experience. You're going to stay for that experience you're about to get. You don't have to pour your water. You don't even got to butter your bread. That's the type of service you're trying to go. So that's me creating jobs for 200 plus. The food truck, I can't be on the food truck. So we need at least 3 people or 4. So day off, saying people could do that. That's 4 people getting employed again. The House Jerk Center, that's at least 4 people again because days off, that's 4 people getting a job that could actually, I don't never like to hire workers, I hire bosses. So these are people that I could become a column in the company where I could create them and put them on the franchise team. Okay, you're going to Boston for 2 months. This is what you got to do. You in charge of the training department. You're in charge of this and the third. So that's what I'm out here trying to do right now. I'm not only out here I didn't come to Vegas for no goddamn income. I came out here for the outcome. This is an outcome. Because I met you like my food, you're giving me a platform. So this is an outcome. The income will always come. Money for me is just like a picture frame on the wall. You just got to figure out how you're going to go get it. There's going to be obstacles, but you got to go get it. I'm not new to money. As I tell you, I graduated from the streets to go right. I call myself a corporate thug if you want to do it. Because I knew the thug life at a younger age, and now I'm a corporate. I'm hanging with politicians and everybody now. So I grew from that. So nobody can come to me and try to finesse me with money. Because the money I used to make in a day, you never made in a year. And I could say that like with conviction because I know how much money I used to make. So for me right now, I just want to continue creating jobs, promote from within, turn someone who never thought they would ever be nothing in life, become someone that's be on stage with me and be like, he was my dishwasher. And now he call the shots in the company. So that for me would mean more wealth that I could look back and say I left a legacy and I turned so many people into millionaires and bosses where they could eventually branch off and go start their own.
So how many food channels you've been on so far?
So we've been on ABC, we've been on the Food Network, we've been on a few local TV shows and podcasts out here. We did a UFC podcast last year, November, I believe. Yeah, and I got right up in like the Jamaican Gleaner, the Observer. I was on TVJ in Jamaica for Smile Jamaica. And we got CBS now coming up. I got to fly to Jamaica also to do a few interviews down there also. We got Black Image Magazine coming up. We got so much. I got to go to San Francisco in April to shoot Guys Grocery Games and Chop. So I'm going to be on the Food Network again this year. So and all of these stuff, everybody keep asking me, how I get these connects. And I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I tell everybody. I don't know. I just get emails and phone calls.
Well, when you got a good product, you got a good product. Are you going to be at the Jamaican the Reggae Fest that they have at the Clark County every summer?
Nah, so I tried to went on it last year, and I got denied. And a customer came and told me that they don't really use Vegas restaurants; they only use California because they're from California. So once they tell me that, being the type of guy I am, I'm gonna just keep my own this year. I'm gonna keep it Labor Day weekend.
You know what you should do? You should have somebody go fly that whole place, pass out your menus.
And you know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I'm creating my own.
Okay.
So we're gonna be having the first ever Caribbean Reggae Festival out here. Okay. Where the goal is to get Barry Salmon out here.
Like Caravana, like they have
exactly
in Ontario.
Exactly. So we're doing that Labor Day weekend because, as I said, Asa Dutch Party is not just a restaurant; it's a culture. So we don't hate on nobody for not giving us an opportunity. We just use that to fuel us, and we're going to show them how it's done. So we're going to keep our stage show, and I'm going to be the only restaurant in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, keep doing what you're doing, Oneil.
Thank you, but I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I just sitting here listening to you. It's amazing. Especially how you were talking about how you already had you had a plan before you left New York.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest things. I have a couple friends that tried to go into restaurant business for themselves, and literally they didn't last 6 months because they didn't have suppliers lined up. It just costs so much. But like, as somebody who has a business degree, I can tell you right now, all the stuff that you just said cause certain people $40,000, $60,000 to be able to just say what you just said. But it just, and I really, I just enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the interview. I really appreciate, what I really like, and this is one of the reasons why you're already successful, but I know you're going to be even more successful, is because of what you were saying about how you don't want employees, you want future bosses.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest mistakes I think a lot of companies make, is they want to keep people down.
Yeah, and
they don't want to, like I always said, like, I can't move up if the person under me is not going to be able to take my job, then I can't move up either.
My biggest challenge in Applebee's was and I'm a guy, I'm very transparent. I call a spade a spade. I don't care who want to get mad. They went to every
know that. How that works.
They went to every kitchen. They was about to open the world's busiest Applebee's in New York. They opened up a new center called Gateway Mall. And they went to every single other kitchen manager, and they all denied it and said they don't want it. Yeah. This is what I said, the key word, world's busiest. Now, I'm the youngest kitchen manager in Applebee's history. Youngest. And when everybody has denied, they came to me last. Mm-hmm. And I accepted it. And everybody said to me, you got to get everything this. And one day I just snapped at the director of operation that was at the time. I said, yo, bro, if you don't leave me alone, bro, you come do this yourself, because I know you can't do nothing I'm about to do. Mm-hmm. We hire convicts, guys that went to prison for 25 years for murder, and we hire them. I hired them. Mm-hmm. I know my kitchen gonna stay clean. Because if you did 25 years in the penitentiary, you know how to keep that shit clean. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they don't want to go back to that
exactly. Either. And that give the owner tax credit, because he keeping convicts off the street. Mm-hmm. So now, as the young kitchen manager, my job is to get these guys to buy into whatever I'm saying to them. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the first week that store opened, we did 376,000 in 1 week. You do the numbers by the day, and you tell me how much it is. The owner, the guy who started Applebee's, wanted to know who is this kitchen manager pushing out so much food without any E-cups. Mm-hmm. I live 5 minutes away. That's why I accept the challenge. Because I knew I could put in that work. Because I used to do 23, I used to sleep at Applebee's. We used to show in the day, and we would wash the dishes with the O's. Mm-hmm. Because by the time we close down, it doesn't even make sense to go home. Yeah. And I put in that time, dedicated, bro. I never had a voice in Applebee's. I'm always a horse because we so busy. You ever seen the store going to wait from 7 in the morning till we close at 1 in the morning? You ever seen that? Like literally doesn't break? We did that. I went through that, bro. So every time I'm hiring someone, I say restaurant is like a battlefield. I need troops. I don't need cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. The minute I see one of my staff being a talkative, gossipy, I'm firing them, bro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A boss doesn't have time to sit and gossip. A boss gonna always think, what's the next step? No. A boss always gonna think about how can I continue to make money so everyone around me could make money. My staff good, bro. I'm getting some of the top tier staff right now, and they believe every word that come out of my mouth because they see me doing it. Yeah. They see me doing it. So I'm just lining up myself because so much like I'm from St. Thomas, man. Me and Rihanna dad is like this. I do all this Thanksgiving, me and this guy's like this. I made it my hair. 95% of floor men with the boxers and trainers eat at us a Dutch pot. I'm at my restaurant Sunday. DeMarcus' cousin, basketball player, texts me, yo, bro, family in town want to come in. Nice. Phone call. Hey, I got the Mavericks at the area. They need this, and the third for 20 people. I need it by 4 to 5. I made it happen. Mm-hmm. I'm there with all the basketball players. Next day, all the Warriors. I'm coming out of the elevator, me and Steve Kerr standing up talking. I'm from the country part of Jamaica. I have no business meeting these people. I got Kaminga number. Call me. Bro, I just saw you on the Food Network. These are top tier basketball players that ate at the restaurant the entire summer league.
So,
and we just bonded. I'm in Jason Richardson's house by Earth Hughes.
So did you save money to put down on the restaurant? Did you take out a loan? How did you do it?
I used to hustle. Always at the back end.
I like that. I like that.
And I was making a hell of money out of the garage. Mm-hmm. The garage was literally so busy, I had to hire a guy just to serve sides and somebody to collect the money and take orders because I couldn't do it solo. I had to get 3 delivery drivers, my guy. My brother was one of them and 2 of my friends. People used to pre-order. All right, it got so busy on a Friday, I had to start doing another concept on Saturday that I call SNS Saturdays, Seafood and Soup Saturdays. That took over even bigger than Fridays. Because Saturday night, one of my friends had a mobile bar. So I said, bro, pull up and park it right in the driveway. Because I have a corner lot. Pull up right in. You pull up with his mobile bar. While you're already fishing or making it, you're over there having your margarita. Hookah's popping. So I got a friend that does hookah. Bro, come pull up. Come sell hookah. When to warm up, buy a couple tables and chairs. Still social distancing. Everybody sitting down having a time. I got my phone with a nice little side speaker like that, playing music. And everybody feel like they're at Jamaica or, they're having a vibe. Mm-hmm. Nobody, never had no scruffle, none of that. Never had to ask no one to repost nothing because people just bought into this stuff. Put it like this, man. People play toll from Philly and New Jersey every Friday to come get this food. Put it like that. Every Friday. I'm not talking about some Fridays. Every Friday. Ain't nobody gonna pay no toll and gas and it's not just.
There's a lot of Nevadans don't know what the hell you're talking about when you say toll.
And it's not just and it's not just the food, man. Mm-hmm. I just created a vibe in the back of my yard in my garage where even my dad, after be telling all the nurses at his hospital that he worked at, and they making reservation for me to save 2 tables for them because they come in 6, 7, 8 deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this and like, this is coming up, bro. I'm cooking out of buckets with water. I don't have a pipe in the garage. So I got clean bucket and water in it. So when I'm steaming fish, scooping up, and I'm doing it, bro.
And this is when you were in New York.
Yeah. The Dutch pot I'm cooking the oxtail in right now is from New York. I took it from New York. When I ship all my stuff out, I ship it down with it, bro.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Jim?
I just have one thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
You are the example of the American dream.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And I just appreciate the story.
Appreciate it.
Because and congratulations. And God bless you. Because I think that's one of the things that frustrates me about natural born American citizens.
Yeah.
They take it for granted.
Yeah, man.
Sorry to get all choked up, but
Yeah.
that's an amazing story. Thanks
you.
for coming on. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, we interview a lot of politicians and judges
Yeah.
all the time, man. But you got the heart and drive, man.
Appreciate that, my guy.
And you think outside that box.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to think outside the box because they're so comfortable in the box.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
And I like Dutch pot too.
Yeah.
Because I'm from the country, so we used to use Dutch ovens all the time.
Similar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Smith, Mark is gonna zoom in on you.
Yeah.
You could tell whatever. You could say, hey, come down to my place. Here's the address, phone number. We got this, that, whatever you want to say.
All right. Well, you know the lingo. Whoopsie. And Chef O, owner and chef at the #1 Caribbean restaurant, not only in Las Vegas, but the entire Nevada and the entire West Coast. We're located at 4255 South Durango Drive. That's between Flamingo and Tropicana, right around the corner from the DMV. If you want that good food, authentic food, that jerk chicken that actually cook on the grill and not in the oven, just come to One Pot. And that's House of Dutch Pot. Be safe. All the love.
There you go. Thank you so much for coming.
Anytime, my guy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Folks, that's Oneil Smith, founder and owner of House of Dutch Pot, Caribbean restaurant. And they got some very, 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 very tasty meals. You need to go check it out. Once you check this place out, you're going to keep going back. You're going to get hooked. It's going to be like crack. You're going to want more and more and more and more, but in a good way. It's not addictive. It'll just make you feel good and enjoy like you're being in the Caribbean. This is Steve Sanchez, Jim Jonas of Veterans in Politics. Until next time.